Hey guys, let's get right into it. So Luann, mother, you can keep on doing your cabarets because that's what makes you happy. You need to start hawking skincare. You need a skincare line because when she meets with Jock has aged. Luann has not. And it is even more apparent that Luann is not aging when we see the flashback of her and Jock. Jock, did y'all see me do that? Jock, yes, the Countess is rubbing off on me because he looks so young in that flashback. Luann looks the same. Looks the same. And then we cut to current day and it looks like Luann is at lunch with Jock's grandfather. You know what I mean? Like, you need to do skincare, ma'am. You really, really do. You also need to share your dermatologist because, baby, work has been done, but money well spent. When Luann said that Jock was going to be doing a stand-up at this bullying event that she was hosting, I knew he was going to bomb. Before we even got to the scene where he was doing those jokes that nobody understood and none of them landed, I knew he was going to bomb because they were giving us too much screen time of him. I was like, why are we filming Luann meeting Jock and asking him to do stand-up at this anti-bullying event that she's hosting? Oh, because he's gonna bomb and they want to use that footage. And I was not wrong. And while Luann is hawking skincare, Dorinda needs to be traveling the world teaching seminars on how to snag a wealthy man when you have the personality of a woman on death row. Because I am shocked. I am shocked that this woman who has the cadence and essence of a good fella was able to snag wealthy white collar men. Two. John is more her speed. I don't know how she ended up with those two husbands in the beginning. I'm shocked. Ma'am, you need to teach a seminar. You really, really do, because nothing about you, no shade, but nothing about you gives me white collar 1%. But you are able to get these men in that community. I love her. Y'all know I do. But Dorinda talks like a bus driver from Queens. How is she getting these wealthy men? Girl, you better teach a seminar. You will clean up. One of the reasons why I like the Real Housewives of New York is because I'm an East Coast girl. You know what I mean? And I used to live in New York City. So I just love, like, I was about to say vicariously living through them, but I was just like, their New York was not the New York I lived in. But I do just like this show because I miss New York and I miss everything about it. But also because they dine at places that I've like never dined at before. So every time that they're filming at some kind of restaurant, I always go to my Yelp and I, put a little bookmark on it for the next time that I go to New York so I can have a nice place to try out. And this place that Tinsley is eating at with her mom, I think it's called Boost or Bouquet, whatever it is, I looked it up on Yelp and baby, I cannot wait to go. Hopefully when the world opens back up in, 2025. Anyway, Tinsley is sitting down at Boost with her mom and she's discussing Bruce. Tinsley, stop lying. You know what I mean? Like, I had already assumed that Bruce was not real and that he did not exist. This conversation confirmed it for me because Bruce lives in Chicago. And she felt like she was only dating Bruce to run into Scott. Is Bruce Scott? Like, girl, Tinsley, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Your mother, your overbearing mother has never met or seen Bruce. Bruce from Chicago. Bruce is Scott. Bruce is Scott. Tinsley, stop. Stop playing. See, this is why Dorinda want to ball you up, because she knows that you're lying. So Sonia is meeting with the owner of her company. Girl, bye. You do not own Sonia by Sonia Morgan. So anyway, they're talking about how, Fashion Week was good, but they did not make any sales from their Sonia by Sonia Morgan runway show that they had in that kitchen in New York City. I'm sorry, the spirit of Sutton is overtaking me again, but so that kitchen, stop it, Nikki. So that didn't make any sales from the runway show. And sometimes that happens, that's the business. But girl, Century 21 wants to start buying from Sonia by Sonia Morgan and putting Sonia by Sonia Morgan in their stores, that's huge. Who cares if you showed your fashion line in the kitchen in New York City? You're in Century 21. Like, all jokes aside, that's a huge accomplishment, Sonya. So bravo to you. Kyle needs to reach out to Charlotte Russe, because that fashion line that she is trying to hawk to us, that's the material, the quality, Charlotte Russe. Your customer is a Charlotte Russe customer, Kyle. Stay woke. Stay woke. Oh, Leah and this husband, honey, I want you to start dating too. Or baby daddy, they never got married. I want you to start dating too, because what I don't want is you to spend this season talking about how he dumped you and he didn't want to marry you. It just, every time she talks about him, it's like she wanted something from this relationship. She wanted to be his wife, and he didn't want that. And it seems like he kind of got stuck with her when she got pregnant. And I don't know. The way she talks about this dude is like she was all in and he wasn't. So I don't know. I want you to just start dating on this season, because every time we have to deal with this man, it's just very awkward, because it's very obvious that you want more. And you're always talking about how, oh, we're co-parents and he lives up the street and we're not together, but you know, it's like we're this married couple. And I'm like, this is always coming from you. Even when he's in the scene, I just don't get that he says the same thing about you. So I want you to move on from this, because I'm tired. I'm tired of you giving all yourself to this man and he still is paying you dust. And she's acting like she's this cool ex, right? But I just feel like if her ex, her baby daddy, if he were to settle down, if he were to meet someone and in the span of a year get engaged and marry this woman, Leah would lose it. Leah would lose it, because she said the only reason why they broke up is because he didn't want to marry her. Girl, this is not a good look. Start dating on this show and stop bringing this man around. I'm not saying is anything wrong with him, but I just think that you just talk about him like you're still with him. You're giving me that if he came with a ring today, you would say yes. Because again, every time you talk about the relationship, that he wanted to end it and you didn't. So, you know what? I just thought about it. If he starts dating somebody, Leah, stop bringing that man on the show. Because I just thought about it. If he starts dating somebody and this relationship gets really serious and they end up getting engaged or married or whatever, and we're watching you on the show have a breakdown, this show will hire his new woman. This is how messy reality TV is, just to see you fall apart on camera. It'll be good TV, because Leah will beat that girl up. Leah will lose her front teeth again fighting his new woman. I promise you, she got it in her. Let's talk about this moment with Ramona and Leah. They're both on their way driving to Luann's anti-bullying benefit. And Leah is still very raw and emotional because her mother isn't speaking to her, and Ramona is just like, I told you, you can't text your mama. You got to actually talk to her. You got to go over there and see her. You got to call her. And I just want to say, in this moment, we saw a Ramona that we rarely see, and I love when she makes an appearance, because we see the very nurturing and kind and motherly side of Ramona. I think she hides that because she doesn't want to come off older, you know what I mean? So she wants to wear the cocktail party dress and be very rude and in your face, because it's more like young, spunky behavior. And I don't think she shows that side of her a lot, because she doesn't want to seem older and she also doesn't want to seem weak. But I enjoyed this moment with Leah and Ramona, because Ramona was a listening ear. She gave her great advice and she really comforted her. And I really love to see that. It was a really sweet moment. I'm going to say this. I don't think that an intoxicated Dorinda should be encouraging Luann's drinking or defending Luann's drinking, because while at this anti-bullying event, Luann takes a sip of Ramona's drink. Not a sip. She took 2 huge gulps. Like, she was downing that drink, and she was like, oh, it tastes so good. And their other friend, who's in every scene, is she a friend of the show? I don't know what this girl is, but she was like, she's the vibrator girl. She's the one that brought Sonya her vibrator. So I don't know if she's auditioning or if she is a friend of the show. I don't know. I don't know, but she's there all the time. So while Luann takes her gulps, drunk Dorinda is, you know, celebrating that. You did it, yay, yay, good for you. And then her friend, Vibrator Lady, was, you know, very concerned, and she was just like, are you still going to AA? You know, I didn't feel like she was judging her. I think she was just concerned. Guys, we can't forget that Luann was out there in them streets, just a hot mess. Beating up police officers, getting locked up, burning through her kids' inheritance, trying to like sell a $6 million home for like really cheap to get, you know, more alcohol. Like Luann was a mess. Luann was a mess. And Bethany mentions it. You know, she talked about it on the last season that they were on, and she blew up at her a few times about it. But I don't think we realized how serious and how bad it was. How I knew that it was really bad was when Barbara would talk about it, because Barbara is very protective over Luann at the time. She was very concerned anytime Luann looked like she was teetering back into what she had just came out of. So I felt like her friend, Vibrator Lady, who was in every scene, I think she was also there to witness a lot of Luann's, you know, dark times. So she was just concerned. Did not judge her. I didn't think that she gave off any energy to make Luann feel bad, but she was concerned and she asked the proper questions. Dorinda, oh, don't do that. She's fine. She's fine. Ma'am, you're not fine. So how the hell you know that Luann is fine? Luann takes in everything. She kind of, you know, brushes everything off because she is about to host a show. But I think that it was uncomfortable for her. It was really, really uncomfortable for her because you have one person sharing it and this person is visibly drunk. And then you have another person who appears to have been there with you through those times who's just concerned. Oh, Luann, I really hope we don't, you know, they didn't talk about it this season. Like they would have shown us, or it would have been in a trailer or something. I don't think we're going to get a relapse from Luann. I hope we don't, because she's doing so well. But yeah, this scene was very, very concerning. We got a lot of drinking and alcohol problems, you know, with this cast. And it's unfortunate because all this show does is feed them drinks so that they can act a plumb fool on national TV for ratings. Ooh. New York, I'm loving you this season, but I don't want to be uncomfortable watching this show. Okay, so that lady just had, Vibrator Lady, she just had a confessional. Guys, is she a friend of the show? Who is she? Like, we don't get like a name card or anything from her, but she just pops up in a confessional. I was like, who the hell is this? Is that Vibrator Lady? She has a confessional now? What's going on? This bullying a bit was just awkward for all the ladies. I will say this, because listen, comedy is subjective and it's really hard sometimes to like, especially do stand up because you're always trying material on a new audience. You never know what's going to land or what's going to bomb. You're just throwing the dice out there and seeing what happens. So I applaud all the stand-ups who were able to get up there and, you know, do what they could do. It was very apparent that a lot of them bombed, especially Jacques, and the ladies wanted to get the hell out of there. I think this event would have worked better for the comedians and probably would have had a better response from the audience if they were telling jokes concerning the theme. You know what I mean? If they were telling jokes about how they were bullied and how they overcame their bullies, something like that, I think that would have worked better. But it just, this event didn't seem to go as well. It seemed like the funniest person there was Luann. I love Sonia. She is my girl. The last thing I want is for Luann to start drinking again without me. She's good TV. Good TV. So this episode ends with Dorinda picking a fight with Tinsley. I'm telling you, Dorinda was not going to let this night go without getting into it with Tinsley. She was picking the whole night until her and Tinsley got into it. Tinsley, who's an adult, doesn't think that Leah needs to be there to mediate the conversation. Dorinda wants Leah to be there because Dorinda asked if her and Tinsley could sit down to fix out, you know, the kinks, whatever, in their relationship. And she wanted Leah there to be the mediator, but Tinsley doesn't want to. She's just like, we're adults, we can talk. And also, I don't want to bring anybody into our mess. We need to be able to solve it. Right? But Dorinda was just like, well, I wanted Leah there for you so that you could feel safe. I don't think that's the case. I think Dorinda wanted Leah there because she feels like Leah can also understand her side as well. That's what it is. Dorinda doesn't want to apologize. Dorinda wants Tinsley to apologize to her and let her know that she was right. So she wants somebody there that will make her feel like the way she feels about this woman is correct when it's not. Dorinda, I love you, but it's envy. Tinsley's pedigree really walks up Dorinda's back. It really does. She cannot stand the fact that this woman has just been handed everything to her that she had to marry into. That's what it is. Her and Sonia cannot stand Tinsley for that. Because if you think about it, in this group, she's the only one that's pedigree. But she doesn't care, Dorinda. You and Sonia care. Tinsley does not. Y'all are obsessed with something that she isn't obsessed with. Look at it this way. This woman who is pedigree came to be on your show, a show that you were already on, a show that working class women who married into wealth made popular. This pedigree chick wanted to come on y'all platform. Think about it that way. Maybe that will get you off this woman's back because you were not going to leave this event until you got into it with her. So the episode ends with Dorinda and Tinsley getting into it, and next week we'll get the rest of it because Dorinda is going to cuss Tinsley out at a winery. I'll be there to review it. That was all my thoughts about this episode. What did you guys think about this episode? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of The Real Housewives of New York. Love you guys. Bye.